What is going on, everyone? We are back with another episode from our career in F1 2016. We start this out with a little cutscene, getting an update on the R&D of some of the other teams. You can see where we're doing, just behind Red Bull still, but we are ahead of Force India. We have a few points saved up. I think we have something like 600 resource points saved up. So after this race, we should be able to earn ourselves quite a few and possibly be able to upgrade a couple different parts on the car. But getting into Canada, as this one, in comparison to last time, if you saw the last episode, that one didn't go well. Monaco, a very, very tough track, a track that doesn't necessarily agree with me too well. We finished 19th, our lowest finish of the season, so we're looking to rebound here in Canada, and things looking much better so far. The tire wear test, we have 3 perfect laps, so we have already finished that one out, a perfect score there, as this looks to be maybe one of the better track finishes as far as practice goes that we have had in a long time. Very few races since really the first race of the season where we have finished perfect on all of the practice programs, as we are going to earn ourselves another perfect score here. Actually, excuse me, not a perfect score. We earned the green there, so we're at 30, looking for a perfect score here, as we did miss on one of those gates in the first lap, but here, a near perfect lap. As these final corners, we gotta watch the cutting the corners there on that one. That's probably gonna spell some trouble for us later on, but we are gonna earn the perfect 50 out of 50. So practice number 1, 6th fastest race. We were the only car on ultra soft tires, so that probably had something to do with it, but looks like we're set up pretty well here heading into the rest of this weekend. Now finishing things out with the qualifying pace and looking for 13th here on this first lap. We're looking okay, as we're about a 10th quicker off of that 13th spot, and looking to increase it here. Actually losing a little bit of time there, but coming into these final few turns on the backside of this lap, we are going to pick up some speed there, moving up to about half a second. Now that final big hairpin turn, and try and take as much speed as we can, and looks like we're at about a half a second, so we should be pretty good trying to increase this. And yes, coming down that last stretch, cutting the corner a little bit there, we're going to end up 1.3 seconds up, and how's that going to be for the time? And that is going to be objective complete. They cut us off there, which to me means, yes, estimated qualifying position first. So we absolutely flew through that lap, and that is a very nice 50 out of 50 for all 3, 25 out of 25 for the team objective. So a nice rebound versus last time in Monaco. We only got 35 total resource points. So they want us to qualify 11th or higher, beat Sebastian Vettel, which is always hard to do. I think 11th is actually a reasonable thing, but look at this. All 3 practice sessions were nice and warm and dry, and this one, while it still might be warm, it is not dry. So throw everything out of the window that we accomplished in those 3 practice sessions. We are now on the fully wet tires, trying to do qualifying, and this is not fun, as we are currently in 10th, shaking through 11th, down to 9th. Hamilton, as he seems to be often, on the pole currently. But we're coming through here, as we got to try and pick up some time. I can't even hold it through that corner. We got to take it a little bit short. Fortunately, we're able to keep relative speed there. We do drop a little bit behind of Hamilton. We're now currently in 14th, but coming through this hairpin turn, it looks like we can try. Nope, right back to 14th, coming out of it. So we're in trouble here. But actually, coming down the straight, we are able to pick up some speed. We're down to 8th, actually. And then on this corner, take a horrible line, totally cut it, hit the wall, but coming out of it, we're sitting in 4th, but can we hold that coming through the line?
We're very happy with that position. Well done.
And yes, we can, as we earn 4th on the starting grid behind Rosberg, Hamilton, and Vettel. And actually, Rosberg and Hamilton tied. How unbelievable is that? Rosberg somehow wins the tiebreaker there, but looking at the comparison, we still finished behind Sebastian Vettel, so we are going to be losing to him, but we are able to actually pick up 3 points there. So they want us to finish 8th or higher. I really hope it's not raining. Actually, you know what? No, I can see out the window, and it is still raining. So it is going to be raining for this race, which I can't believe that. I was so looking forward to that race. We did so well in practice, but it looks like actually we didn't do too bad in the rain. But we're going to upgrade the car here, as we now have 873 points. So I'm going to actually increase, if we have enough, 2 parts on this car. We're going to go with the chassis weight to help that out, and then the fuel efficiency, which should help out in terms of being able to run in the rich revs a little bit more, and that is going to give us enough points. So we have 23 left over, but that now is going to cover the first level upgrades for every single part of this car. And now here we are for this Grand Prix, as it is definitely still raining. And yeah, it's raining as we are going to be on wets. No pit stops, 18 laps, 26 minutes for this race. I guess fortunate we aren't going to have to make any pit stops, but it looks like the rain might let up in the middle of the race. For now, it is very, very wet, and all we're hoping for here is a nice start and nothing bad to happen, because if we do get any nicks or dings in the car, that is probably going to keep us from going with that 0 stop, because we're going to have to come in and make the repairs, because we're not going to hold up the entire race. But into this first turn, looks like we immediately hit Sebastian Vettel. No damage apparently though, and then we kind of hook up with Lewis Hamilton. We're able to get off of him and keep the speed, and looks like we're actually going to take Hamilton off of those first couple turns. Unbelievable, this Haas flying out of the gate. Now this is the first race I'm doing post-patch, which I thought should have fixed some of the issues, including the cars being slow the first couple laps of the race, which this is the first race we're also doing in the rain, so I don't know how that comes into play, because they do seem to be a little bit more cautious as we actually take Sebastian Vettel on that final chicane turn there, and we are going to be in second place. Nico Rosberg sets the fastest time, but I do think that the rain probably makes the cars a little bit more conservative. And obviously we're seeing that, because we really shouldn't be hanging around with these cars that are around us. But we're now up to lap number 6, still in second place. We cannot hang with Nico Rosberg, although we are going to lay down the fastest lap time immediately after he does it. So even with it raining, we are still finding ourselves some fast times around this track. We were really, really good. I felt really, really good in practice, even though that was not in the rain, but still able to find some of those lines here. And we're having some success as we're actually gaining on Nico Rosberg, which, again, maybe this all is just the rain messing with us. If it was dry, we maybe would be back in 5th or 6th place just because of the speed of some of these other cars. But I'm going to actually make a run on Nico Rosberg here into this turn, and I completely cut that corner. We are going to be warned. That was definitely a big cut there, but I wasn't sure what he was going to do, so I tried to stay a little bit inside, and actually he went way outside, which is going to give us a nice gap coming out of that turn. Could this be the first win we have since race number 1? Although that I really don't count that one, because that was the race we started on medium difficulty. We're now on expert, so a little bit different circumstances. But here, as we're coming into this turn, our teammate is in the pits. The rain has subsided a little bit, and you can see Nico Rosberg in 3rd place. The cars are starting to pit and put on the intermediate. So on lap 13, I am faced with a huge dilemma here. As you see our teammate coming in, and look at all the cars in the pits. Everyone is coming in for intermediates. Do we stop for intermediates as well? As I'm going to pull up the list, and you can see all the cars coming in. Eventually, they will all come in. And are we going to be that lone team that stays out on wets? We're having a lot of success right now. We're 6 seconds up on Hamilton. He's up 10 on Nico Rosberg. The tires are only at 30%. We only have 5 laps remaining. And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe we do just stay out. We have the lead. Now, in hindsight, we maybe could have had the opportunity to stop as we're going to pass a couple more cars that are in the pits. We maybe had time to stop for a quick one, just in that 2-3 seconds to pull the intermediates and still be in maybe 2nd or 3rd. But I thought in this moment, how can we take the chance, or more, let's take the chance and stay out. As you see, the splits here on these laps, they're getting slower. The tires are starting to wear the more that this track dries up. As you can see, they're coming over, wanting us to stop. But you know what? I'm going to say no. That's the final decision I make on lap 14. We're going all in here on the wets, trying to win this race. Can we do it? This would be a huge, huge win. I did not think we would win a race the rest of the season, or maybe not until the very end after we really upgraded the car, because as I move the difficulty up, you can really tell it's not easy competing with some of these other cars, but the rain being a godsend, I guess, here. As you can see, Nico Rosberg and the quick laps are going to start rolling in as these guys on the intermediates are going to make up a bunch of time. And you can see, actually, we were 10 seconds up. We're now just 1 second up. Nico Rosberg and Hamilton are coming. Did we make the bad choice? I think we might have. There is Nico Rosberg. And at this point, the stress levels were at an all-time high as Rosberg is coming for us, trying to make the pass as we are going to come around. But I'm going to commit to the line, holding through. He's forced to let off, and we're going to remain in first. I don't know how many times we're going to be able to do that. We do cut the corner a little bit, but he just kind of just let off there as he doesn't come through that turn properly. But on the second to last lap now, in the stress, in the pressure getting to us as we do not take that turn well, and Rosberg going to get a nice run on us there, but now 2.5 seconds slower on our split times as these tires beginning to really wear, and Rosberg actually has us here at the turn, and this is not looking good. Now Lewis Hamilton going to be coming for us, but at least we are able to stay in the slipstream of Rosberg, and actually we're going to make a run on him here into this turn as we're going to stay on the inside, as that seems to be the nice line to have as we're going to come through on this turn. And again, we are going to hold our line, and he is forced to let off. We're going to take a look at the replay here, as you can see on board with Lewis Hamilton. And we come through, and Rosberg just did not take the turn well. He almost took out Lewis Hamilton, and now on with Rosberg. And you're going to see here as he comes into this turn, he is going to lock up that front right, cannot turn, and that is going to allow us to make it through, still in first place. And now one more lap to go. They're right back on us here, Hamilton and Rosberg. This is not looking good. As you can see, the tires completely worn, but just a couple more turns. We've got to be smart. I'm going to stay inside. That seems to be the place to be, as if we can just make this turn correctly, as we're going to come way inside, totally cut the corner. We don't get called for it, and that is going to do it. We are going to win the Canadian Grand Prix.
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
And what a race for that Haas car. As I said before, I did not think we would win another race for a very, very long time in this season. Now, I don't know. I do know the rain had to have played a factor in terms of how the AI drove. Rosberg just was not as aggressive as he really should have been, especially through that last little chicane turn there. But you know what? We made our race. We did really well in practice. We still were running very well in that race in qualifying. We qualified fourth, and we are going to come out victorious. We pick up 25 points, which is a nice rebound, the perfect rebound from our horrible finish last week in Monaco. Romain Grosjean, our teammate, going to finish 11th. We also finish ahead of Sebastian Vettel for the first time this season, which is awesome. We also not only get back to our previous spot of 6th, but we jump Daniel Ricciardo as well for 5th now in the driver's standings, 4 points above him. A big gap between us now and Kimi Räikkönen. And then Haas back above Williams, now 4th again in the constructor standings.
Hey, it's me. I just came from a meeting with the department heads. Your performance came up, and they're very pleased so far. Well done. Don't let that level drop, okay?
And the team happy, of course, with the finish as well. So what a successful race. Did not see that win coming, but that is it for this one. I will see you next time for the race in Azerbaijan.